Introduction: The legacy of a world conqueror. Alexander the Great's achievements are among the most remarkable in history. By the time of his death in 323 BCE, he had created an empire stretching from Greece to India, encompassing a vast array of cultures, religions, and peoples. Alexander's campaigns changed the ancient world, establishing the Macedonian Empire as a dominant force and ushering in a new era of cultural and intellectual exchange. But Alexander's influence extended far beyond his military victories. His legacy laid the groundwork for the Hellenistic Age, a period that reshaped the ancient world and connected East and West. The Macedonian Empire that Alexander left behind, though short-lived, had a lasting impact on art, science, religion, and politics. His vision of a united empire that embraced cultural diversity became an inspiration for future empires, and the Hellenistic civilization that flourished in the wake of his conquests shaped the foundations of Western and Eastern thought. Political transformation: the division and fragmentation of the empire. Alexander's sudden death at 32 left his empire without a clear successor. His generals, known as the Diadochi, quickly engaged in a series of conflicts over control of his vast territories. These wars, known as the Wars of the Diadochi, ultimately led to the division of the Macedonian Empire into several Hellenistic kingdoms, each ruled by one of Alexander's former commanders. The three major kingdoms that emerged were the Ptolemaic Kingdom in Egypt, founded by Ptolemy I, which became known for its wealth, advanced administration, and cultural achievements centered in Alexandria. The Seleucid Empire, ruled by Seleucus I, which spanned from the eastern Mediterranean to Persia and extended into parts of Central Asia, facilitating a rich blend of Greek and local cultures. The Antigonid Kingdom in Macedonia and Greece, which maintained Alexander's homeland and continued his legacy in the Greek world. While these kingdoms were politically independent, they shared a common heritage rooted in Alexander's conquests. Greek language, culture, and political ideals spread throughout these regions, creating a network of Hellenistic states that preserved and promoted the ideals of Alexander's empire. Though his unified empire fragmented, the Hellenistic kingdoms continued to promote cultural exchange, trade, and diplomacy, extending the reach of Greek civilization. Cultural integration and the Hellenistic influence. One of the most enduring impacts of Alexander's empire was the cultural integration that took place across his conquered territories. Alexander believed in the value of merging Greek culture with the traditions of the East, creating a synthesis that could unite his subjects. This approach laid the foundation for the Hellenistic Age, during which Greek culture, language, and philosophy blended with the customs and beliefs of the local populations. The Hellenistic world that emerged was cosmopolitan, with Greek as the lingua franca, facilitating trade and communication from the Mediterranean to Central Asia. Greek art, theater, and literature spread across the empire, influencing local traditions. At the same time, Eastern religions, scientific ideas, and art forms were absorbed by Greek settlers, creating a unique blend of cultures. This fusion is perhaps best illustrated by the development of Greco-Buddhist art in regions like Gandhara, where Greek artistic techniques and Buddhist themes combined to create a distinct style that influenced Buddhist iconography across Asia. Hellenistic influence reached as far as India, where the local culture absorbed and adapted Greek ideas, making Alexander's empire a bridge between East and West. Alexandria and the advancement of knowledge. The city of Alexandria, founded by Alexander in Egypt, became one of the greatest legacies of his empire. Under the Ptolemaic dynasty, Alexandria grew into a vibrant center of learning, trade, and cultural exchange. The city's Library of Alexandria, established by the Ptolemies, became the largest repository of knowledge in the ancient world, attracting scholars from across the empire and beyond. The library was not only a collection of texts but also a research institution where scholars engaged in groundbreaking studies. Figures such as Euclid, the mathematician who wrote Elements, and Eratosthenes, who calculated the Earth's circumference, conducted their work in Alexandria. Advances in fields such as astronomy, geography, medicine, and philosophy flourished in the city, contributing to the Hellenistic world's reputation as a golden age of intellectual achievement. Alexandria's diverse population, including Greeks, Egyptians, Jews, and others, fostered an environment of intellectual curiosity and exchange. The city symbolized Alexander's vision of a multicultural empire and became a lasting testament to his impact on education, science, and culture. The intellectual advancements made in Alexandria and other Hellenistic centers would influence both the ancient and medieval worlds, shaping the foundations of Western science and philosophy. Religious and philosophical syncretism, the blending of beliefs. Alexander's empire was a melting pot of religious and philosophical traditions. Rather than imposing a single religion, he promoted religious tolerance and respect for local customs, encouraging a blending of beliefs that continued after his death. In Egypt, for example, the Greek god Zeus was combined with the Egyptian god Ammonius to create Zeus Ammonius, a deity that represented the fusion of Greek and Egyptian spirituality. This syncretism allowed people from diverse backgrounds to find common ground in shared symbols and beliefs. The philosophical schools of the Hellenistic age, such as Stoicism and Epicureanism, also reflected the period's spirit of intellectual and cultural exchange. These schools addressed universal questions of ethics, happiness, and the nature of the universe, appealing to people from different cultural backgrounds. Stoicism, with its emphasis on reason, self-discipline, and acceptance of fate, resonated across the Hellenistic world and would later influence Roman philosophy. This blending of beliefs and philosophies created a unified spiritual and intellectual landscape that transcended individual cultures, symbolizing Alexander's vision of an interconnected world. The syncretic religions and philosophies of the Hellenistic age laid the groundwork for future religious and philosophical developments in the ancient Mediterranean and beyond. Economic prosperity and the expansion of trade. Alexander's conquests opened up new trade routes that connected the Mediterranean to Central Asia, India, and beyond. The Hellenistic kingdoms, with their strategic locations and common language, facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies across vast distances. The early Silk Road, a network of trade routes linking China with the Mediterranean, began to take shape during this period, allowing for the flow of luxury goods such as silk, spices, gems, and textiles. Cities like Alexandria, Antioch, and Seleucia became major commercial hubs, drawing merchants from across the Hellenistic world. The spread of Greek as a common language and the use of a standard currency made it easier for traders to conduct business, fostering economic growth and prosperity. The integration of trade networks also encouraged technological innovation and the sharing of agricultural practices, metallurgy, and craftsmanship. The economic prosperity of the Hellenistic world supported the growth of cities, infrastructure, and public works, transforming the Mediterranean and Asian economies and creating a more interconnected world. This expansion of trade would have a lasting impact on ancient and medieval economies, laying the foundation for future global trade networks. The decline of the Hellenistic kingdoms and the rise of Rome. Despite their achievements, the Hellenistic kingdoms were often plagued by internal conflicts and rivalries, leaving them vulnerable to external threats. The wars of the Diadochi had fragmented Alexander's empire, and rivalries among the successor kingdoms continued to create instability. This internal strife weakened the Hellenistic kingdoms, paving the way for the rise of Rome as a dominant power. In the 2nd century BCE, Rome began to expand its influence into the Hellenistic world, initially through alliances and eventually through military conquest. By 168 BCE, Rome had defeated the Macedonian kingdom, and in 30 BCE, it annexed Egypt, the last remaining Hellenistic kingdom. The Roman Empire absorbed the Hellenistic world, but Greek culture, philosophy, and science continued to thrive under Roman rule, influencing Roman society in profound ways. The absorption of the Hellenistic world into the Roman Empire marked the end of the Macedonian Empire's political legacy, but Alexander's cultural impact endured. Greek language, art, and ideas became integral parts of Roman culture, and Hellenistic ideals continued to shape the Mediterranean world for centuries. The lasting legacy of Alexander's empire. Alexander's impact extended far beyond the territorial borders of his empire. His vision of a culturally blended, interconnected world influenced the course of Western and Eastern civilizations, creating a legacy that would resonate through history. The Hellenistic age, with its emphasis on intellectual inquiry, cultural exchange, and economic integration, laid the foundations for advances in science, philosophy, and art that would shape the future. The cities Alexander founded, particularly Alexandria, became symbols of learning, tolerance, and progress. The intellectual and artistic achievements of the Hellenistic world set the stage for the development of Western thought, while the spread of Greek ideas and trade networks influenced cultures as far as India and Central Asia. Although the Macedonian Empire itself did not survive intact, Alexander's lasting impact can be seen in the spread of Hellenistic culture, the exchange of ideas, and the foundations of a more connected world. His ambition and vision left an indelible mark on history, bridging East and West and creating a legacy that endures in the realms of philosophy, science, and culture. Conclusion: Alexander's enduring influence on civilization. Alexander's empire, though short-lived as a political entity, had a transformative impact on the ancient world. His vision of cultural unity, his policy of tolerance, and his commitment to intellectual growth created an environment where Greek and Eastern ideas could flourish together. The Hellenistic age, born from Alexander's conquests, was a period of profound cultural